welcome back to my channel. This is Fab Face Over 40 and I'm Lee. It is a messy bun day, as you can see by my hair. It is pretty clean, but not in good shape as far as styling, so we're going with the messy bun today. So I hope you can survive it. Alright, so what we're here to do today is we're going to do a kind of get ready with me style video with all my favorite products. So we're going to talk about my very favorites of every single step of my makeup routine, from having a bare face and going through my skincare all the way up to this finished look right now. And so I'm going to try to kind of gear it towards why I like it as far as a person over 40, but there's some things that I like just because they're a great product and it really has nothing to do with my age. And I'll talk about the brushes, and at the end of my video I want to make sure that everybody checks down below, because I'll link to everything that I used. All the links to how you can buy it will be there. I'll have every single one of these products. I'll try to put the colors of things that I used, and then also for the brushes, and then hopefully that'll be helpful. I'm going to come back in a minute with the bare face and just completely bare right after being washed, and we're going to start from scratch. Stay tuned. Okay everybody, I am back bare-faced completely with my little messy bun up here, a little headband to keep all my hair off my face. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through what I do every day. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing that I use is this Urban Decay product. This is called the Urban Decay Quick Fix. It's the longest name in the world, y'all, for real. Urban Decay Quick Fix Hydra Charged Complexion Prep Priming Spray. Now, I bought this because my favorite YouTuber, Raw Beauty Christy, who you've heard me talk about before, she said it smelled really good. And I'm all about spraying something on my face that makes me feel fancy, and that's really the only reason I like it. You just spray that all over your face. It is cooling and it smells like coconuts, and so it kind of reminds me of the beach. And so this is my favorite pre-makeup face spray. But my second step is my serum, and it is the Ever Youthful Quattro Peptide Face and Eye Serum. Now, Ever, you've probably heard me talk about this in an earlier video. I just put some on my hand like that, and then I rub it all over my face. Now, Ever is a skincare company that has been launched by the Stella and Dot monster company. Great jewelry. I love them too. So I use the serum. That's the first thing I do. First, I've cleaned my face before off camera. And then I use their moisturizer. And it is called Ever Daylight. And it's got an SPF of 32 in it. And it's just wonderful. Now, they have, again, the same amount on my hand. They have a moisturizer that they have that is tinted, but in my foundations video, you probably learned that I'm not a huge fan of tinted foundations. My next step is primer, and I am a huge fan of this primer, and this is a brand that a lot of people don't know about, and it's Alouette. It's a really old, I think, direct sales company. And I have tried a lot of their products too, and I am a huge fan of their primer. It's called Flawless HP. It really lowers down the visibility of fine lines and wrinkles. And it feels like you are coating your face in something so soft and smooth. And I just love it. To me, it's one of Alouette's best products that they have. I've replaced it several times over the years. Now, I don't know if you can tell, especially in this area, how much that lowers the appearance of those lines. It really does kind of disguise those a little bit. Now, I do believe in primer. A lot of people don't. Some people just don't care about it at all, but I'm a big believer in it. I do think it makes your makeup last, and I do think it gives you a great base to do the rest of your makeup. Then I'm going to go in with my foundation, which I won't spend a huge amount of time talking about, and it is my Makeup Forever HD, Ultra HD. I talked about this in my foundation video. And so I just go in like this, and I know this seems like a lot. I promise it's not a huge amount. And I swipe it all over my face like that. And then I use my Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush to buff this into my face. The reason I like this foundation is that it gives you a good amount of coverage, and it does, I think, give you a really nice finish to the skin. Now, I don't wear as much as some people do, and so I don't want it to be like I have a mask on. Just do your circular kind of buffing motions all over your face. Go down on your chin a little bit, and like I showed in my little short At the Mirror foundation video, I try to go on my ears just a little bit. Just again, making sure you go down on your neck a little bit so that it blends. All right, and then I generally will check the coverage, and a lot of times I'll do another swipe on the cheeks like that, especially in the summertime. Yesterday I got a lot of sun on my face yesterday. Our school hosted the 5A marching band competition for the state of South Carolina, and I stood at the gate and put wristbands on people for 5 straight hours. And it was very hot. Yeah, very hot. It's November. It was very hot, and when I got home I realized my cheeks had gotten a little bit sunburned. So we'll add a tiny bit of coverage. Okay. All right, so next I go on with my concealer, and again, y'all have seen me talk about this one. It's the Tarte Shape Tape. I do think I've settled on it as my favorite for now. That could change. So I put that on under the eyes. Sometimes I'll do a swipe on my forehead, tip of my nose and my chin. We'll do that today for kicks and giggles. And then we go in with the Beauty Blender and just buff that in and just pounce that right into the skin. And get right up under your eye line if you can. And sometimes I'll take the excess and do it up on my eyelid a little bit. You see how it brightens under the eye so much, which is just really nice if you're over 40. Sometimes you get a little bit of dullness and you lack radiance. And so it's really nice if you can add that in. I see a lot of women who I think use the wrong color of concealer. Now, I'm not saying you should be all using white up in there, but to go in with the shade that's lighter, a little bit lighter than your skin tone, and then to kind of buff it down onto your cheeks, I think does a really, really good job of giving you some extra light on your face, which is really nice. And then I'll just take this, and it won't change the appearance of my face a lot. It's a high point of my face up there, and so we want to add lightness to the center so that I'm a round face person. I've spent my whole life trying to contour my face out of its roundness. And one of the ways is to add light in the smaller center of my face. That's what I do. I've been learning how to contour since I was a teenager. I got a whole video for that to come out for y'all later too. All right, so there's my concealer. Now the next thing I go in with is my setting powder. And I am a huge fan of Laura Mercier's setting powder. This is the Laura Mercier Loose Setting Powder in Translucent. So I use my giant Ancient Sephora brush. I don't know the name of this one. And I just put it in there. And I really am a low user of this powder. I really just put it in there once. I start on my eye sockets in my under eye to set that concealer. And then whatever is left on my brush, that's what goes on the rest of my face. All right, so that's my setting powder. It's the best, I think. The best one on the market is Laura Mercier. And then we go in with contour. Now my contour kit, I apologize in advance for how messy this is, but it's my very favorite, and I use this every single day. And it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit in light to medium. Now this has contour and highlight in it. You can see what this looks like. The one in the middle, this one on the bottom is my very favorite. Sometimes I use this one too, and I'll probably do that a little bit today. But I really don't use the highlights that much. And the brush that I like for this is a Morphe brush. It's the Morphe E4. I like the shape of this brush. It has a nice going into the cheek hollow shape. Now I do contour every day. I know some people don't, but I believe in it because, like I said, I'm a round face person. And so I'm trying to make my face look less round. So I go into the center of that, and then I I do the fish face, put it into the hollow of my cheeks, under my cheekbone, where you would naturally do contour. It's not a lot. Like, I'm not making this really dark. You can see how I do that. And really, that's probably all I do. Sometimes I'll dip in a little bit to the darker color and add just a hair more of it. I know it's even difficult to see in this bright light, but it does make a little bit of a difference. staying right under that cheekbone constantly. Now, because of my roundness, I do add contour sometimes up here on the wider parts of my face up here, just a little bit. And sometimes I'll go in under the chin and try to disguise the aging there. We do want to not attract attention to the skin under your neck that's starting to get loose as you go over your 40s. It's frightening, ladies. It's so frightening. So now we go on to blush, and that is my least cared about cosmetic, honestly. I don't spend so little time thinking about blush, and even less time choosing it and buying it. And so I usually tend to have something in my drawer that I just go with, and I don't care that much about it. But the one that I've been using the longest right now is by Tom Ford, but it's in the color Wicked. Now, it's terrifying the way it looks. It's so bright, but it doesn't really go on like that. And so I'll just tap this ancient brush. I'm not even going to show you the brush. It's horrible. Horrible. It's probably from like a toy brush set. This is the worst brush that I have. But I care so little about blush. I know I should care more, but I'd rather spend money on a million other products all day long. And then I just do the apples of my cheeks. And you see that it's really not that bright. But that's about it for what I do for blush. I mean, it's minimal. And to me, one of the worst things you can do if you're over 40 is have a lot of color on your cheeks. It looks really old lady, honestly, to have that look that almost looks like rouge, And then I'll take this big brush again and I'll go back over it to even lessen it down. Then we're on to my favorite part of my face, which is my eyes. My favorite part to make up, that is. I love spending time on my eyes, and so that is the best part of makeup to me. All right, so the first thing that I do is my eyebrows. And we just did an eyebrow video, so I'm going to probably skim through this and then cut it down to just be really fast. Is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz product in caramel. And that's what I use on a daily basis, and it is my favorite brow product. So I'm going to do these brows, and then I'll probably speed this up in editing so that you don't have to snooze through me doing something that I just did last week on a video. Alright, so the next thing I do is prime my eyelids. Now, I do not use a specific eye primer, but you saw me how I put a little bit of concealer on there. And then I use the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. And that looks like this. It's the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Now this is almost like a solid eyeshadow, cream eyeshadow. And I learned about this product from some of the biggest beauty YouTubers out there. Nikki Tutorials, I think Jeffree Star uses the color Painterly, but it's like an eyeshadow base. And it's really skin colored. And so I take it and paint it onto my eyelid from my lid all the way up to my eyebrow, all the way up. And you see how you can barely see it. And I find that my eyeshadow really blends better and lasts longer when I do this. And to do this, I'm using my Sigma 3D HD Precision brush. It's this kind of wedge-shaped brush. All right, so you coat your eyelid from top to bottom in this kind of cream eyeshadow. And that's my base. I do that every single day. I do brows, and then I do that as my base. And then I do eyeshadow. And so the palette that we're going to use today is my very, very favorite eyeshadow palette. If you want a makeup palette, an eyeshadow palette that you can use every day, that you can put one eyeshadow palette in your travel bag, that you can go anywhere from day to night, this is it. And it's Morphe, and it's filthy because I use it all the time. And it's just Morphe palette. It's the 35O palette. I'm going to open it and show you the inside. And it is the best palette. Now, Morphe is a brand that all of us who watch YouTube, who are in the makeup world, as far as loving makeup and learning about makeup and watching videos about makeup, Morphe is a brand that all of us know really well. But I have found, in talking to my friends, that that it's not well known by women who are not kind of makeup lovers. And so but it should be. It's great. Lots of makeup artists use it. It's extremely well priced. I mean, this palette right here has what? 7 times 5, 35 colors in it. And I guarantee I paid less than $30 for this palette. I mean, I probably paid $22 or $23 for 35 colors. And it is fabulous. I mean, you can see that it has every single shade you might need, from warm to cool to even the brights and to shimmers and to mattes. It's all you need. I'm going to try to show y'all what colors I use. And I'm going to try to remember to tell you what brushes I use. But the first brush that I use is, again, I have these, you know, I haven't been using makeup brushes for my entire life, but I have for probably the last 10 years or so. But I started off with some brushes that were, you know, just, I got them in kits that were really inexpensive, and they weren't a brand really. And they were just not even numbered or named or anything. And so I call them just certain names. They're just the brush I use for something. And so the first one of these is, it actually says it's called a liquid eyeliner brush, which I think is completely wrong, because look at it. It's not a liquid eyeliner brush, but it's really fluffy. But it's what I used to put on my base color. And so the first thing I do is put on a light shade. I'm going to try to tell y'all what I'm doing. The lightest shade, and I put that over my entire eyelid, right on top of that Pro Longwear paint pot in soft ochre. And I do my entire eyelid just to give me a base to blend from. And you can see, again, it's kind of just blending into my skin. And so I just coat my lid gently with this color, and then I build from there. All right, so then the second thing I do is put in a transition shade. Now, your transition shade, for those of you who are not makeup people, is kind of a lighter medium shade tone, and we're going to put that right against the I call it your crease. My crease is way down here because of the hooded eyes, but your crease is really, or this place where you can feel your brow bone right here, and then here's your eyeball, here's your brow bone, and there's kind of a curved space in there. That's where you want to aim for. And I use a big fluffy brush for this. It's the Sigma Tapered Blending Brush E40. When I use this palette specifically, see if I can point my finger to it, I probably go between these two shades right here as far as my transition shade. Sometimes I'll use one or the other, and sometimes I use both. So I get that on my brush, and I go in, and we're just going to go back and forth. You see how pale that is? It's not a deep shade, and you want to use a big blending brush so that it blends out. And this is how I do my makeup on a daily basis. There are other looks that I do, other ways that I apply makeup, but every day, if I'm just doing my regular makeup, this is what I do. You know, I can feel my brow bone with my brush right there, and I try to stay in that curved area. All right, so the next thing I do is I choose a little bit of a darker shade. I am wearing a light blue shirt today, and I want to make my blue eyes pop. I'm going to go with probably a warmer shade brown, and so I'm going to go in with I think this shade over here. We kind of stay on the outer corner a little bit, and then blending into the center with that same back and forth motion in that same area. Really, now I'm angling the brush down a little bit because I want to leave the edge of that paler shade kind of at the top. So each time I go a little bit further down while keeping this kind of corner of my eyelid unshadowed. So we do the same thing on the other eye. Sticking to this outer corner, kind of building up the color there, and then using the excess to go into that same area with a little bit lower touch. Okay. All right, I'm looking at my mirror down here if you're wondering what I'm looking at. All right, so then we go in, maybe I'll choose to go in with even darker. See, that's how it works. Lightest to darkest, and then blending really carefully each time. So next I'll choose my Morphe R39 brush, and it's a little bit of a smaller smaller blending brush, and I'll go with an even darker shade. And so let's go with maybe like this color right here next. So you see how I'm getting darker and darker. And then again on this one, we're going to stay in the outer corner. And I'm really going a little bit lower this time. You see how the brown just makes the blue eyes pop. That's the goal. All right. Good. Go back with the E40 brush, my very favorite brush. Swipe over all of it. Just kind of make sure we blend it really carefully. This isn't going to be a super dramatic look. I know some of y'all, you're like, really? You're on your 4th eyeshadow already and it's not dramatic? But no, this is not a dramatic look. This is my everyday nude eyeshadow kind of smoky eye look. Do I ever do an eyeshadow look that's not a smoky eye? No. I'm a big fan of smoky eye. I love the smoky eye. All right, so now we're going to go in with our very darkest of the shades that we're going to use today. And I'm going to use my Sigma Small Tapered Blending Brush, E45, for that. And see, it's a little bit more pointed. It's not quite a pencil brush, which would look like this, but it's getting close to a pencil brush. And we're going to use one of these dark brown shades at the bottom. I think probably we're going to go in with this one and maybe with a hair of this one. These two kind of blended together. And then we're really going to concentrate on that lower corner outside of my eye and with a little bit in the crease. Now you can see already how much bigger my eyes look than they did without any makeup. That's the goal. That's my goal every day, to make my tiny little eyes look bigger. All right, now we're going to go and blend those edges again back to that E40 brush. Right, and then judge. Do I need a little bit more of the darker? Sometimes I'll go back and build in the crease a little bit more. It just depends on how I feel. Now, my decision every day is, do I go in with the shimmer or are we going to stop here? And a shimmer, I just do love a shimmer because I like to make my eyelids stand out again because I feel like it makes my eyes look bigger and it kind of combats that hooded eye look. The problem with the hooded eyes that your eyelid doesn't show up as much. Now, there are a lot of good shimmers to choose from in this palette. And I think I am going to go in with, maybe we'll do something, what the hell? We're going to go with something dramatic, just for fun. All right, I'm going to go in with this. Now, I've learned that this color doesn't really go on that well with a brush, and so I use the tip of my finger. It just picks up the color better, and so I'll put that on my finger and then swipe it on the lid like that. And then do the other eye. Looks great. All right, so then I'm going to go back over the edge, over that crease, just to make sure we blend those together. And that's going to be the upper lid look for today. All right, so now let's go with the lower lid. And I do not use eyeliner on the bottom. And again, I think that using eyeliner on the bottom can date you, can make you look older. I use only eyeshadows on the bottom. It's softer, and I think it makes you look younger, and it doesn't look so harsh. And so if I had any advice for somebody who was over 40 who wanted to update their makeup or update their eye look, that would probably be one of the things. Don't use eyeliner on the bottom. I'm going to show you my favorite upper lid eyeliner in a minute, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the I'm going to go in with one of my very, very favorite ancient brushes, again, no name brush. And I go in with one of those darker colors, and then I just carefully brush that along my lower lash line like this. And then do the same thing on the other eye. Don't you like that face I made? I don't like that. All right, so there you go. That's generally what I would do. Let's add a little bit of the darkest brown that we've got, just to give me a little more definition down there. Yeah, there you go. All right, now I'm going to go over that with my Sigma Blending E36 brush, just to carefully blend that into the upper lid look. And again, I do like the smoky eye. I know it's hard to, I know you're surprised. And so there's my eyeshadow look right there. Now what I like to use for my upper lid is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. You may have heard me talk about this before. This is in the color Trooper, which is black. This to me is the best eyeliner on the market, I would even say, as far as a felt tip eyeliner. Now it does have a more flexible tip, so I'm going to show you how I do my eyeliner. And I'll start in the corner with short strokes going out. All right, we're going to do a wing, so we're going to stop right there and then do the other eye. Now, I usually will do a wing liner, but for a regular day, I don't do a huge wing, so we're just going to kind of, do a little teeny, almost like a little baby wing like that. We're not trying to kill it over here, although I would. All right, so now we've got everything on the eyes done except mascara. And my favorite mascara is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Again, all these products look horrible because I use them so much. That's how you can tell it's my favorite. So this one's black, obviously, and I just do my mascara. Very boring. Do I wear false lashes? I have them. I do wear them for big events, but I don't feel like I'm great at it. And I think even the pros don't feel like they're great at it. It's a steep learning curve on false eyelashes. All right, we're getting close, y'all. We're getting close. All right, so the next thing I do is highlight. And I have a new favorite. My Becca Champagne Pop has been dethroned by the Ofra highlighter named Rodeo Drive. It is gorgeous. Ofra is another brand that is very, very well known in the beauty circles and the makeup circles, but again, not as well known in your everyday world of people who are not just completely immersed in makeup. But it should be. All right, so then for this, what I use is my Morphe Y14 brush. It looks like this. So I'm going to just lightly take my brush. Seriously? I mean, like, it's like my cheek is made of glass now. What? Again, remember from my other video, I'm staying kind of far away from the corner of my eye. I love that color. It's like a golden, but not yellow. It is beautiful. All right, so the only thing we have left is lipstick. All right, so then my very favorite lipstick in the entire world is Kat Von D's Lolita Everlasting Liquid Lipstick, or Liquid Everlasting Lipstick, and it looks like this. Now, this is a nude, which are my favorite shades, and it is a liquid to matte lipstick. It's a darker nude, as you can see. I love this lipstick. I think it goes with everything. Now, it's going to dry down and be a lot more matte than that, and it lasts forever and ever and ever. I love this color, Lolita. I just saw yesterday that Kat Von D is coming out with a whole suite of Lolita products. I had no idea it was like some sort of cult favorite, but it is, and it's a great shade. So that's my whole face. Now, the very last thing that I do is I coat my face in the MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime Spray. Now, this is a finishing spray, and it will keep your makeup on longer, and it's almost like it melts your whole face together, and everything looks like it's been there forever and perfect. So I just take this and I unlock it first. That's it. Now, that'll dry down, and my makeup will stay like this for hours and hours and hours. And it feels good, too. All right. So I'm gonna come back in a minute, and we're gonna have some final thoughts. Thanks, guys. All right, everybody. So this is the final look that you just watched me build from start to finish. Now, there are many other things I could talk about, but these are my very, 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 very favorites. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Down below, you'll find a link to all my other social media channels. Please follow me on those social media channels. And also my email address if you want to ask me questions for that. Or you can just put it in the comment section. But please like my video and subscribe to my channel. I'm really working on expanding this channel. And after having a really busy few weeks and a couple weeks in there where I had bronchitis, I'm going to hopefully be back to posting at least once a week and hopefully new content twice a week. That's my ultimate goal, is new content twice a week. So if you have ideas, if you have thoughts, please share them. I really appreciate each one of you that watches my videos. I so much appreciate your supportive comments and thoughts. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody. All right, so I'll talk to you next time, and thank you. Bye.